Would you like to hear that? So I'm going to back it up. It's kind of in two parts. It's like why network marketing, why direct sales, and then how it works came about. So I'm like a lot of you, I have children. Anybody else have children? Yes. They rock your world, right? They take you right out of what your path is, you think, and put you in a whole different direction, don't they? At least mine did. You know, Dave and I will be married 39 years August 9th. 39 years. And so we dated for 6, so we've been together since I was 2. Rearranged. Just kidding. We were high school sweethearts, went off to college. I graduated in December of 79, got married in 1980. And we just were having a ball. You know, Dave ended up in the construction industry. I have a degree in business education, but at that time, there was not any hires. And so I ended up selling IBM computers in the 80s. You know, are y'all familiar with them? They were real big desktop, brand new to the market. Huge machines, lots of commissions, and they were costly. And I loved it. It was like a new frontier. It was like bringing, you know, so I was replacing electric typewriters. Can you believe that? Man, I'm so glad that you can get hair in a bottle today and color it. And I mean, think about it. Think about it. That was like brand new, just like this wrap, bringing this wrap. So, you know what? Everybody would, like, you would show them that computer and they're like, where's it going? Where's I don't understand. I'm typing, but where's it going? Can you imagine? It's like you put a wrap on. Where's it going? I'm smaller, and then I'm like, who cares? As long as it doesn't come back, right? It's gone. We wanted our data to come back, and not our fat, right? So I'm just loving life, and Dave and I are just like, we're skiing, we're camping, we're having fun, we're going to the beach in the summer. Newlyweds, and you know, 3.5 years later, we have our son Adam. Awesome, 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 awesome. But something happened to me the moment he popped out. See, I thought I was going to have that career. I thought I'd go right back, 6 weeks. Boy, that's not enough time, is it? It's not enough time to go back after having a baby. Well, I didn't want to go back. I did not want to go back. I started crying almost immediately thinking about going back to work. I did extend it to 3 months. I had to beg for that. But Dave and I just had bought a house. So I had to go back to work. There was not enough money to pay for that house. David just changed jobs. So it was scary. So I hired a great sitter. I loved her. However, I'm going to stand right here. This is over here, you get electrocuted. Where's the thing? The box. Oh, then I'll go here. Okay. So anyway, we just like consciously were sick to our stomachs. Now, how many of you love taking your child to daycare? It's okay. She's like, it's okay. You can work this full time and drop them off somewhere. It's all right. And we're not paying you if you want to do that. I have a lot of friends that work their entire time that their children were little. And that is okay. But for me, I wanted something different. And we made a conscious decision at that moment that we would save every penny that I made, as much as I possibly could. So that when our next child was born, which was Kay in '87, I became that stay-at-home mom. And I'm telling you, I loved it. I loved it. When I was growing up with the kids, we were having so much fun. And then they started, Kay started entering school, and about that time, Dave started saying the job word. I said, you need to get one. He's the practical one in the family. Who's the practical one in the family? The one that, thinks about the future, wants to save the money. Who's the fun one? Is this a whole house full of blue people? Yes. Yes. Yeah. of course they're blue. Right there with Sarah. Well, there is something that you need to think about, the future, income. And so Dave was saying things like, before you know it, they're going to be driving, they're going to need insurance, a car, and then they're going to be going to college, and they're already costing us a lot because they were in sports and dance and music. And that's costly, isn't it? And we wanted to be able to provide those things, but sometimes we have to say no, and that hurts as a parent. That really, really bothered us. So I started looking in the wanted ads, in the classified ads in the newspaper. This was 1994, before Google and Yahoo. So I know some of you do not understand what that is, but you got a physical newspaper and you went in and they had want ads, as in they want you to come work for them for nothing, $6 an hour. Because see, I thought, well, maybe I could go part-time. Maybe I could still drop them off at the bus, go to work part-time, and come home. And then I thought, well, I have a degree in education, maybe I can substitute teach. And then they put me in 8th grade music class. And I walked right down the hall to the principal and said, take me off the list, this was not worth $50. I only did it one day and I never went back. I feared for my life. Anybody have 8th graders? You know what I'm talking about. They're very endearing, but not when they're all together. They're hard on the substitute teacher. Please talk to them and tell them when they go back to school to be nice to the substitute teachers. Any teachers in the house? Come on, we want to give it up for the teachers. They're doing a very responsible job for us. Yes. Beautiful. So, I'm like, gosh, I don't see anything part-time. By the time I'm on the pantyhose, by the time I get the gas in the car and get there, I make about $20. That's just not enough. And so my friend Marie said, oh, you know what, I'm making lampshades. Come on over here and make some lampshades with me. Well, we learned very quickly I wasn't crafty. So that ended almost immediately. My sister-in-law Diane said, look, I'm making some earrings for the college. We can go up there and sell them. Well, that lasted a day too. I'm not crafty, so I just knew that this wasn't my thing. Moms, do we try just about anything to bring in some extra money? Who else is with me on this? I mean, we try everything. And so I thought, okay, IBM taught me something about visualizing. They would have us in the beginning of the year talk about how we wanted that new year to end. So we would start at the end. Like right now, we would be forecasting the end of this year, 2019. And then we would back it up with how do we want each month to end, then how do we want each week to end, and then how is each day going to play out? Because the day rolls into the week, which rolls into the month, which rolls into the year. If you're not productive that day, each hour of that day, you're not going to have that year. And so I learned that, and it was forecasting. We do that at our corporate office. And so I'm very interested in that concept. So I thought, well, how do I want my day to be? How do I want my day to be so that at the end of that week, I'm not stressed out. At the end of that month, everything is rolling. I'm making some extra money. And at the end of that year, I'm proud of what I've accomplished. So I wrote out the perfect day. And it started like this. I would get up in the morning, because it's good if you get up. So I would get up on my clock, okay? I would get the kids off to school leisurely. They liked packed lunches. My son is 6'6". His lunch was like a fresh market bag. I mean, it was a big sandwich and a lot of stuff in it. It took a while. And then I would walk them up to the bus stop, put them on the bus, I would come back and I would drink from a great cup of coffee. I wish I had keto back then. And then I would read from an inspirational book, then go work out in the morning, because if you don't work out in the morning, it doesn't happen, does it? And then by the time that you come home, you need to do some stuff at home. Start the laundry, make up the beds, get the house straight. And about that time, it's lunchtime. So you call up the girls, right? Hey girls, all the stay-at-home moms, y'all want to go to lunch? Well, sure. sure, let's go have some coffee. And then you might need a mani-pedi. How do you like my day so far? Might need a psychiatric visit just to get through that week. You can include that in that day if you need to. It's okay. We've all had therapy. And those that haven't, we know who you are. And then it's 3 o'clock. It's time to get the kids off. Now, what do they want as soon as they get off that bus? Food. They want to talk, tell you everything. And then you got to get some homework started, and then they want to go play. And then it's dinner time, bath time, some more homework time. And then Big Daddy needs at least 30 minutes at the end of the day, right? Yeah, that's what we call him. You know what the nice thing about age? We'll cut that down about 3 minutes right now. That's why I can Zoom all night long. You know, I got to Zoom here about 9 o'clock. How do you do it? Now, y'all are laughing, but we got a product for that. It's called Confiance. It does one thing for us and something else for them. There's a tremendous side effects, guys. Now, I know you're going to get right on your phone right now and order that product. It is gentle. It is gentle. I love Confiance. I absolutely love it. So then, that's my day. Y'all like my perfect day? Now, I wanted to be able to work in the nooks and crannies of that day and make a 6-figure income. Now, if I'd have put that, like, want to go to work for you out in the classifieds, I would not have gotten a response. There would be nobody hiring for that. So I jokingly told Dave about that day, and he did not laugh at all. And you know, Dave was an entertainer. He would take customers out to lunch and out to dinner and golf and on trips because his product line was very much what everybody else's product line was in the construction industry. So when the kids would go to school and they say, what do your mom and dad do? Well, my dad is an entertainer. And my mom does nothing. That's what they would say. And so we would go to school and they were like, you're an entertainer? Yes. Yeah. So every Halloween he would dress up as Elvis and do his little routine. Sarah has seen that. Yes, she has. So we take a customer out to dinner, him and his wife. And it was a great dinner, and I told them about my perfect day and that I was looking for part-time work. They had a big laugh. And then a couple weeks after that, his number one customer, millionaire in that industry, calls me and says, this is a Monday. Pam, tomorrow night, it's 7 o'clock at a local college near you, about 20 minutes away. There's going to be an opportunity meeting. And I think you should go. I said, an opportunity meeting? I didn't have a brain cell for that thought. I didn't know what that meant. Have you ever gotten a weird phone call? It said, anybody ask somebody to come tonight and they're not here? Are they texting saying they're coming? They're not. You might as well give up your seat next to you because they're not coming. You know why they do that? They do the same thing to you that I did to him. I told him I would go with no intention of going at all. And the reason I did, I didn't want to hurt his feelings. That's it. I didn't know what he meant by opportunity meeting. It sounded very weird. He wouldn't tell me anything about it. He said, you just go. Just go and listen. I don't want you to prejudge it. Wednesday morning, phone rings, first thing, 8:30. Hey, what'd you think of that opportunity meeting? I said, what? I had already forgotten. And he was not happy. And he said, you know what, that's okay, Pam, because they're going to be there next Tuesday and the Tuesday after that. I'm going to call you on Monday to remind you, and I'm going to follow up with you on Wednesday. And so you go. And I'm like, I'm going to have to go. See, I thought it was like a circus that came in and out. That was it. That was your time to go to the opportunity. So I told Dave, I said, we're going to have to go to this. So I'm just going to hire a sitter. We're going to make it date night. There's a restaurant near there that we absolutely absolutely love. So we'll just have a big time. So we show up the following Tuesday, a little bit before 7. We have to go up this big flight of stairs to get into that classroom, and we look at the top, and there's our next door neighbor, Larry. Just standing up there, looking down at us, and we're looking up at him, and he's looking down at us with a really weird expression on his face. A little bit like FOMO. You know what FOMO is? Fear of missing out? And I'm like, what is Larry doing here? And he's thinking, and I could just tell, what are they doing here? So we walked up the stairs and we said, hey, Larry. He goes, well, hey, what are y'all doing here? Oh, well, so-and-so invited us to come to this opportunity meeting. He said, well, I'm here too. And I said, well, that's awesome. He said, yeah, I joined. And I said, that is so odd. Joined what? What is this, a cult? What do you think a church? People joining here. So I walked in the door and it was packed, absolutely packed. And every seat was full and it was all men. I was the only woman. And I thought, I might want this opportunity. and one of the men in the room was a coach, a former coach for basketball at the college that my husband went to, made millions. And the gentleman that was prepping up front, we knew him. He was a CEO of a prominent company there. So I sit down in the seat. I folded my arms and I'm like, well, let's get started. I'm hungry. I can't wait to go to dinner. I hope the center is taking care of the kids. You know how your mind is going. Well, that gentleman walks up to that old-fashioned huge flip chart, goes up front. You know, one of those, it takes everything you got to flip the page. And he started talking, and I'm telling you, he was way too excited. He was jumping around like a jumping bean. And he had a $100 bill, and he kept slapping it on his forehead, and it would fall off, and he'd go pick it up and do it again. And I'm like, what is he sweating? And that $100 bill, what is this about? And so he kept going, and then he gets to a page about residual income. Now, that caught my attention, and I'll tell you why. See, I sold computers. Also, I got a commission one time, and then I started over the very next day. Had to sell another one, then another one. But there were annual service contracts on those. And I would ask all the time, can I get paid off those? I'm selling them, can I get paid? No, we don't pay on those. That would have been incredible. Every year that those were renewed, had I been able to earn commissions. But they didn't pay that. So I understood that if you get a few, who get a few, who get a few, and everybody's buying a little bit, like buying just celery. If everybody's just buying just celery, well, what's it taste like? Celery. What's in it? Celery. I mean, that's pretty easy, isn't it? So if everybody's just buying a bottle of a container of celery, and everybody in your organization, last night, Melody McFarland, who's been with us 14 years, she pulled a report in her e-suite that showed over the 14 years she's had 1 million+ people coming to her team.
Wow.
And she's going to tell them all about celery. Think about it. 14 years. Think about your job. And if just every time you open the door to go to the job, you got a few pennies over time. Wouldn't that be pretty cool? See, I wanted that residual income. But then he totally blew me away. Totally. He said, and we will help you. Now that's when my hand shot up. And I said, all right, hold on. Nobody's asked a question, but I don't get this. We will help you stuff. See, I've been in sales. If you earned a lot of commissions, like more than management, your territory would get cut. Anybody have that happen to them? How about training? It was just enough to get you started, wasn't it? Because they didn't want you to be better than them. Just enough. See, I experienced that for years. Even in the teacher's lounge, when I did my student teaching, he'd tell me just enough to get in trouble. Just enough. Isn't that sad? So that intrigued me. Two things. Residual income, we will help you. So Dave and I left that meeting. I couldn't think of anything else. I could not think of anything else. I was so excited. I thought maybe I could work this spare time in between that day. Is it possible? And so the next morning, because I didn't sleep at all, I got up really early, got the kids ready. We went to the library. See, this was July. They were home, and this was exactly 25 years ago to this month that I went to that opportunity meeting. We went to the library, and they got some books, and I checked out books on network marketing, multi-level marketing. Shocked that there were books in the library on it. Why hadn't anybody ever told me about this industry? Now, I'd been to a Tupperware party with my mom, but I just thought they liked plastic. I didn't know that she made money. I just thought she got it and she sold. I mean, I wasn't thinking. I was a kid. I had never been approached by the industry. Never been approached. So, man, I am excited. I read those books. I called the company and they picked up and said hello. I hung up. I said, okay, they're real. I called that gentleman that asked me. I said, is there any way that I could talk to somebody that's actually gotten a check? He said, yeah. And I talked to a couple people. So in September, I joined that company. It was $590 that I took out of our savings account. $590. That's a lot of money, y'all. This was 1994. That was a lot of money. And Dave's going, oh no. And I said, look, I'll get it back. I promise. I'll get it back. But something happened the moment I signed the form and sent the check. I love Ashley Mayfield. She's an ambassador with us. And she said, that's called the holy crap moment, Pam. And I had a big one. I had a holy crap moment that lasted 6 solid months. Like, oh my gosh, what have I got myself into? What's my daddy gonna think? What's my mom gonna think? They paid for my college. What's my sister gonna think? She makes fun of me all the time. What's my brother, but he's not gonna think? He doesn't even think about me. What are my friends gonna think? You've got a college degree, Pam. Go teach. You still not in computers, Pam. What are you doing this thing for? What thing? That thing. What is that thing anyway? What's my neighbor's gonna think? I'm like, well, one's already in, so he's probably the only one that's gonna think it's okay. But he was kind of mad at me for some reason, still didn't understand that. So wow, fear, gripping, paralyzing fear. Fear of, what if I can't answer a question? What if they say no? What if my friends say no, I won't be your customer? What if my mom says no, I won't be your customer? I mean, that would be devastating. I might die if that happens. So I didn't do anything for 6 months. Nothing. My sponsor kept calling saying, you know everybody, y'all are so friendly. You go to a party, you meet everybody, you walk out, you're just so nice. So many people know y'all. Come on, what is wrong with you? I said, I don't know, I'm frozen. I can't make a move. And I was reading, like he suggested, read personal development. I'm like, what is that? You know, like Think and Grow Rich. All right, I'm thinking. It's not happening. I'm thinking I want to be rich. I want to make $509 so I can put it back in my savings account. I'm thinking about it, but I'm not doing anything. Stairway to the top, Zig Ziglar. Where are the stairs? I'll climb them. Where are the stairs? But I couldn't climb them. I couldn't get off the couch. My sponsor called and said, look, the top money earner, number one money earner, is going to be near you, 2 hours away. You need to go. He's your age. He has 2 kids just like you, and he's a former teacher. Here's the difference. He started, and he's making a double-digit 6-figure income. Now, that got my attention. And I'm like, okay, I need to do something. Because Dave is saying, well, just go get a job. Just go get a job. Just go get a job. So I get in the car that day and I drive the 2 hours by myself because who would go with me? I hadn't told anybody. I get there and I go to the back of the room and I'm sitting there and I'm listening to him talk and tell his story of how he joined. And he asked everyone in the school, from the janitor to the superintendent of schools, if they would be his customer or take a look at the opportunity. Not one person said yes. So he went outside of that school and he just kept growing and building, and he would drive in his car to a different state and sleep in it because he didn't have money for a hotel. His wife was so mad at him at the time because they were building a home, and he took the deck money to invest in that company, and so when you open up their back door, you would just fall out. And she didn't like that. So he had a lot of obstacles in the beginning. So I'm thinking, wow, he's gone through a lot, and he's making a double-digit, six-figure income, and he's more southern than I am. He can do that? Well, maybe I can do that. Maybe if I go up and like rub on him. Like I'll get some pixie dust or something. Something will fall off of him and get into me, and I'll get started. Anybody else sometimes think that? Well, I brought some. Yes, I brought some pixie dust. So if you want a picture and drink some celery, that will be your superpower. So at the end of that meeting, I stood in line like a lot of people did, just to shake his hand. Just to ask, I'm going to ask him something, I don't know what it is. My heart was just racing. So I get up there and he says, "Hi, how are you doing?" I said, "Oh, really good." "Well, how's your business going?" "Oh, well, I got 2 kids." "Well, so do I." "Well, my husband's not, well, neither was my wife." "Well, none of my friends did either." I'm out of excuses. I didn't know what else to say. I could just feel the redness rise. He took a step back and put his hand on his hip and he goes, "You know what, Pam? You're just too prissy for this." Just too prissy. That means you think you're too good. You think you're too good for this opportunity, for this entrepreneurial venture. You think you're too good. Is any of your friends and family paying your bills? Haven't you done things for them? Well, sure. Would you do anything for your mom? Absolutely. I'm telling you, tears popped out of my eyes. I got in that car and I drove home and bawled like a baby for 2 hours because I'm thinking all my husband has asked me for 6 months is to help. That's all he's asked. Just get up and do something. Just bring in some extra money. Not a lot. We were thinking $1,000. It wasn't a whole lot of money. Just to help. And I was frozen because I was worried about my self-image. Ridiculous. So the next morning, I got up really early because I knew that I needed to do something different. I couldn't get up at the same time and expect something different to happen. I had to shake up my life. So I got up really early and I got ready. And I don't know why I did this, but I went in my underwear drawer and I got the biggest, whitest underwear. And I put it on that self-absorbent kind just in case something might happen. and I called it my Under Armour. And there's Under Armour out there. They stole my name. And I thought, okay, I got it. That's my superpower. And I started calling my girlfriends. I said, Debbie, you're going to have coffee with me today. We're going to talk about an opportunity, Debbie. Mom, you're going to sign a form today, and you're going to be my customer. What? You love your grandchildren, right, Mom? Mom, you're doing it. I don't care what Dad says. He won't like it, but you're doing it. Calling my mother-in-law. I'm shaking, calling my Nancy. It's Pam. You love your grandchildren, don't you? Well, they need your help. They don't have any food. So I went over and she became my customer. My mom did. And I said, Dave, get on the phone. On Tuesday night, next week, we're going to have an opportunity meeting at our house. I want you to call people and tell them I'm going to have tea and cookies and that they've got to come. He picked the phone right up and said, hey buddy, get over here. My wife said you got to come. She's got some side opportunity with some tea and cookies. You just got to be here. And so the day of the opportunity, I'm so excited. I've made the cookies and the tea. My sponsor's going to drive down. He's going to do the presentation. I got the big old flip chart out that came with my kit. I put it up in my den. I set everything out. I'm ready. Put some chairs in there. Ready. An hour before the doorbell was to ring, my sponsor called and said, I can't make it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this is what I said. Well, then the heck with it. I am turning the lights and locking the door. The lights are going out and I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I don't know what to do. He said, point and read. Don't add anything in because you don't know what you're doing. Just point and read. If you need me, call me. I physically threw up. The doorbell rang, and in they come. Just friendly. They're my friends and family. They sit down, I get in front, and I am shaking. I stand almost right behind the flip chart. And I go, try it and get paid. Work from your phone, anytime, anywhere. Earn money daily, weekly and monthly. Y'all want to join me, don't you? Make new friends. Get paid for sharing it. Only through the phone back then. Most of us didn't even have email. You can join me for $590. Dave's aunt said, I'm in. I went, what? She goes, yeah, I feel so sorry for you. The underwear did not work that night. I mean, she joined. It was so funny. She never did a darn thing, but she gave me confidence. She gave me confidence. I'm telling you, after that night, I'm like, hey, this isn't so bad. So I got up the next day and I just did a little more and gained some more confidence. And when something didn't work, I tried something else. And when that didn't work, I would try something else. And my first check came the following month and off the customers, and it was $15.78. Yes, lady, come on and pay. No, the check came. And so Dave goes, oh, wow. Whoa, I quit my job and we both go full time. I did a little more that month, and the next month my check was $203. Moving on up. The next month, $748. Boom. I am so close to my goal of $1,000. I'm going to hit it the next month. I poured on the gas. The next month it was a little over 1,000. It was like 1,003. Yes. My sponsor called every month and he was just congratulating me, and he was happy too because he was getting residual income. I became his best friend. Larry still wasn't talking to me, my neighbor. I just saw the cars coming and going, boxes being delivered. Dang, she's doing that thing. The next month, my check was right at 1,000. My sponsor called. He goes, "What was your check?" I said, "It was 1,000. Gold." He said, "Well, what's wrong?" I said, "What do you mean, what's wrong?" He goes, "Well, you were like quadrupling your check." I said, "But I hit my goal." He said, "Well, double it. I said, well, you think I can? I'll never forget saying that. You think I can? He goes, absolutely. You don't do anything different. It's just you bring in distributors and customers. Just get your team moving. You bring in more. Tell them what you're doing. The next month it was over 2,000, and then I got a little cocky by some of us, and I said, well, shoot, I'm going to double that. He said, I could. It was 4,000. By the end of that year, when I got started, it was March. I had a 5-figure monthly income. What was different? The comp plan had not changed. There was no bonuses added. Nothing changed. The only variable was me. That was it. See, something opened up in me. Those dreams, the desire, not the knowledge of how to do it. When you turn on the fire, the how comes your way. Every single time. Pay attention to it. I'm going to go do this. Didn't work. Then I'll go do this. It might work. And you get better and better and better and better. More confident, more confident. See, I wasn't confident at all for 6 months sitting on the couch. Actually, it was more painful sitting on the couch for 6 months than actually asking. Think about it. It's more painful sitting on your butt, not working out, than it is actually going to work out. Because after you work out, you feel so good. You feel so good about the workout. When you don't eat all the junk, you feel so good. When you eat better, it's just common sense, but we don't do it. When I realized, wow, I had so much fun actually doing it. And then my next door neighbor, Larry, he finally moved. And my sponsor once told me, he said, you know, Pam, because you said yes, and you were on my team, and who you were, I want to thank you. And to this day, he still thanks me. Because I made him an extra $10,000 a month. See, Larry prejudged me. He prejudged Dave and I. See, he looked on the outside, saw this family of 2 kids, nice cars, go to the pool, wife doesn't work, they don't need it. But we were suffering on the inside of that house. We needed extra income. See, after I got going, I didn't care what anyone thought. I was just going to share. And either they said yes or no. That was it. I found out that I didn't die when they said no. It actually fueled me. Because I knew at some point they would be in transition. And if I kept going, they would eventually come into my business. And that's exactly what happened. When you start to earn a comma in your check, people start to pay attention. They're going to watch to see if you quit. They're going to watch to see if you're consistent in your asking and in your posting. That's all they want to know. Is she or he just going to fool around with this? Or are they serious this time? I don't care if you've been in 7 businesses. When you become serious, and I don't know why we think that's awful. You were testing. You didn't like something. It's okay. You find something that you like. We wouldn't say that about our children if they tried this sport and then this sport and then this sport, and then they finally found that they don't like sports. They like music until they find the thing that they want, and that's okay. I found something that worked for us. And I was with that company 6.5 years. I loved it. I learned so much about myself. I dove into that personal development. I found out where those stairs were. Yeah, you know where they were? Right there, ready for me to climb. One after the other. And I found out that you do think and grow rich. You do think and grow rich. Absolutely. Read that book by Napoleon Hill. Dive into it. See, it's a self-discovery. That doesn't mean that I don't have wisps of, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Or my heart doesn't pound when I hear that voice that says, go talk to them. No, I don't want to. No, I'm not going there. They don't know me. Talk to them. Who gets that inkling when you're out? So I discovered that if I didn't, it came less frequently. But if I did, they became my friends. So I would walk up and say, I know this sounds a little crazy, but I'm Pam. And I just, something said, come over here and start a conversation with you. So that's what I'm doing. And I just did that over and over again. And I made new friends all over the place. New opportunities came from that, but the best friends were more valuable than the dollars that I earned. And I've got friends from that first business that are a part of this company and a part of my life for 25 years. That company was sold, and it was going to go mainstream. I don't know if y'all realize this or not, but Network 2000 was a network marketing company that later became Sprint. So this company had the same desire because it was in that industry. So it was shocking. It was hard. I had to walk away. I knew that I couldn't bring somebody new into that business and say they had the same opportunity as me. It would have been a bold-faced lie. I knew they were folding. So I came home. I told Dave, it's almost Thanksgiving. I'm going to hang out. I'm not going to do anything. We'll figure this out at the first of the year and enjoy Thanksgiving and the holidays. And then 2 days later, the phone rings. A sideline team member from that company who I used to train his people, he would train mine. We became awesome friends like you are. Yes, awesome friends. With people that are in this room. Who's found the best friends in this because of this business? Absolutely. Friends for life. They're there for you faster than friends that you've had for decades. He calls up and he says, Pam, I'm getting ready to go on a project to Israel. I'm going to build a commemorative wall. I'm going to be gone for 18 months. It was a huge church in Virginia. Huge. It has a college, now a university attached. He was getting materials to take. And he overheard a conversation with the team member, one of the team members there from Mexico. See, it was the Hispanic ministry that reached out because one of the lead doctors that developed the formula for the wrap was also a minister. And they called because of trust. And they said, we've got a product that we've had for 12 years. We want to bring it into the U.S. because the U.S. loves instant gratification without changing lifestyle. It's a vanity product. But guess what we found? So does Japan. So does France, Australia, Germany, the UK, New Zealand. They do too. So they wanted to bring it in. They wanted to know if he knew of anybody that might be interested. And he called me that day. He said, look, I overheard a conversation. There's a product that tones, tightens, and firms the body in 45 minutes. And I said, you're crazy. There is nothing that would do that. Nothing. This is 2000. This is before Botox. And the only people that got liposuction were stars. And that was all underground. Think about it. And the only body wraps that were out there were a torture to put on. And hundreds of dollars. So this was a site-specific cloth that had a formula on it that would tone, tighten, and firm the body in 45 minutes. I said, no, I don't believe it. He said, look, do you trust me? And I said, yes, of course. He said, well, I think they're onto something. He said, let's just listen. So a couple hours later, the phone rings. And on the other end of the line is Louise Maharis. Y'all know Louise, right? Louise speaks better English today. In 2000, not so good. And I speak Southern English. So he's on the phone with the lead doctor who spoke zero English. Translating, they're talking to me, I'm talking to them. And they're telling me about their product. And they're excited. They're excited about their product. They want to bring it into the U.S. They're looking for someone. So I thought, wow, I believe them. For some odd reason, the hair stood up on the back of my neck, and I pay attention to that. And I'm thinking, I've got to have it. I want to try it. I'm willing to try it. So they said, well, in order to try it, we'll meet up with you in Texas. We'll come over. We'll meet up at one of our Hispanic ministry homes, the gentleman that we know there, if you fly down. And so we met. We talked over a period of 3 days, and I came home to Virginia with one box of whatever that was, because there was no name on it, all written in Spanish, and there were 3 cloths in that box. And he said one thing, we want you to try it 3 times, once every 72 hours, wear it for 45 minutes before you form an opinion. On my second wrap, the next morning, I dropped an entire size. Second wrap next morning. See, the first one, I saw a tiny smidge. We didn't have camera phones. I didn't know to take a picture or to measure or anything. I just put it on. I didn't really see anything. But the second wrap, when I got up that morning, I felt like I had left half of me in the bed. And I ran into the bathroom and I tried on the pants that I bought to go to meet them. They were new and they were too big. I started calling my girlfriends at 6:30 in the morning and I said, you gotta try this. This stuff works. I dropped down. I mean, my pants were too big. You have got to. And they wanted it. It was the first thing they wanted besides my husband Dave. See, I had to beg and plead on that other product. They wanted this. And so I called Louise that day. I said, all right, that stuff works. I need 500 boxes of that stuff. I need $499 for me because I'm going to wrap everything I have. And I need one to get out there and see if it works on somebody else. He sent me 500 boxes. And we started wrapping people. And then, gosh, it's working. So what are you going to do with it? You going to put it on home shopping and give them all the money? No. They won't believe it anyway. I knew that the perfect vehicle for this product was this industry. Network marketing, direct sales, because you would have to put it on somebody for them to see it. We didn't have Facebook, y'all. There was no such thing as camera phones. You had to go belly to belly. You had to get out and schlep through the streets, wrapping people in parking lots, elevators, bathrooms, hotels. We did whatever it took to get that product on people. And we needed infrastructure. Behind every distributor in this room is a corporation. A corporation just like IBM. It's called It Works Global. There is a home office in Palmetto, Florida, 5 floors. There's a CEO. There's a CFO. There's a CSO. And a lot of other C's. There's some management. There's IT. There's shipping. There's customer service. There's graphic design. There's product development. Think about it. Behind every one of you, there are people working. Not only here, but in Dublin, and Korea, and Japan. Working on your behalf. And so, You need that infrastructure. You need all of that to start. And we kept asking who could start this company? Who could get it off the ground? Who has the dynamics to understand this industry and also could build a traditional business behind it? And a name kept coming up, a name of a gentleman and his wife that was top 10 in that former company I was in, that left because they were asked to go around and say everything was okay. And they said, no, we can't do that. And because they stayed in integrity in that decision, they got the call. Because they had the funding to start it, and they flew from Michigan to Virginia to try it, and for some reason, that night after it worked, they decided that they wanted to bring this product to market. That is Mark Pentecost and his wife Cindy, your CEO. We would not be here today if it wasn't for Mark and bringing a team together. A team that was very part-time in the beginning. We had one customer service rep, one. And we started in the South in Virginia, and when we call up, they said it sounded like chicken parts. You got something for the thigh? For the neck? And that, it was so fun. And I remember when we had our first $1,000 day in sales. It took a while, a good while. And then I remember when we had our first $10,000 day. And our first $100,000 day. Sarah, you remember when you had your first $1,000 day? Yeah. Katie, how about your first $10,000? Yes. How about your first $1 million day, people? See, I became that first rapper. No, it's not because I can sing. It's because I will work. I will get out. And I will ask people if they would like to rap. We had one product in the beginning, and that was it. And I started rapping people. They started responding. And then over time, we had our first $1 million month, and then our first $1 million day. So what does that tell you? What does that mean for you? You have a very similar story. There is no reason you cannot have your first $1,000 day. But it's going to start with your first $1,000 month. There's no reason that you can't have $1 million month. We have people that are doing that. And what do? They started. They purchased a kit for $99. They opted in to run their business monthly and purchase at least 80 BV in product or 150 in product sales. That's to run their business and recommit every single month. That's the only flipping requirement. And then we're going to gather 4 customers within our first 30 days so that we get a $100 shopping spree. And the first 2 of those 4 unlocks the entire compensation plan. It is called being commission qualified. How many have gotten their 4 loyal customers? So see, it's doable. The third step in our 3 steps to success for when you first get started is to sponsor a minimum of 3 people and to promote to a position called Ruby, which is a little over $400 a month. And then what do you do with those 3 people? This is called the art of duplication. You're going to start them for $99. They're going to opt in for an 80 BV auto ship. They're going to gather 4 loyal customers. They're going to get a $100 shopping spree. And because they did that, you're going to earn a $100 fast start bonus, which is paid weekly. As they start to build a team and their team starts to build a team, you start to promote. Let's go to the next slide, please. Because what we're going to see is this. We got it. In the year of 2016, we took a snapshot of everyone within our organization that was a distributor. Every single person that was a distributor, they just got started. For instance, distributors who have not yet promoted, you are still classified as a distributor. We want to honor you. Please stand up. If you're a distributor who is not yet promoted, we want to honor you. Thank you. Congratulations. See, a distributor has a couple customers. They may have a distributor or two, and they're promoting to the next position, which has an average income of $219. So would all of our executives please stand up? Do we have any executives in the house? Please stand up. We're very proud of that, executives. Hey, I found out the more I dance at a promotion, the faster the next one comes. So let's do a little dancing, rubies. All of our rubies, please stand up. Yes, get very excited. This is a pivotal position because when you go ruby, you're on average, you're making a little over 400, almost 5. And you know how now to build a team because you're going to duplicate your efforts and you're going to promote right into emerald. Would all our emeralds please stand up? Doubling at each promotion. What are we doing different at each promotion? We're doing the same thing. Probably more of it because we're more confident. We're going around showing, hey, look what I got. This is working. And it's called confidence. Would all of our diamonds please stand up? We want to honor you. All of our diamonds. Congratulations, diamonds. When you promote to diamond, you're going to automatically get 2 raises, an extra 2% on all your volume. You know, that's pretty cool. Go to your boss on Monday and say, I'd like an extra 2% on what I made last year. Yeah, he's not going to like that, or she's not going to like that, right? How about an extra $80 per person that comes into your diamond organization? How about that? So what does that mean? That means that you sponsor someone and they complete that first step, they join, they opt in for the auto ship, they gather a couple customers, at least 2. That's going to kick out a $100 fast start bonus for you. But it also pays you an additional $80 leadership bonus. So you earn $180 per person. The beautiful thing about that is they're just getting started. They have the ability to earn the $100 fast start bonus, and you are going to earn an $80 leadership bonus per person. So if you're a diamond and you sponsor this front row, you're going to earn $180 per person. So that's 180, 180, 180, 180, 180, 180, 180. Let's say they go and sponsor the next 2 rows. They will earn the $100 fast start. You will earn 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80. You love them. Now here's the beautiful part. It continues through infinity. So it can go through this row, out the door, and into Japan. They just had their first $1 million month. Nice. That team is booming. Think about that. And that all stems from the U.S. or one of our current countries that is open. We just launched Mexico. In just a few short weeks, we have our first 3 presidential diamonds. Wow. That's the fastest we've ever had a country grow. They're very excited. They've been waiting years for this. So we're very, very excited about Mexico. And you get an additional raise when you promote to double diamond. It goes 120, 120, 120. That's why you see the increase. Double diamond, stand up. Let us honor you. And then you see stand up. Let's honor our triple diamonds. Come on, stand up. All right, keep standing. Look at them, rub on them, after them, take a picture with them. And because they earned this, they're all buying dinner. Thank you. Congratulations. And then you see, and you know what? I got a job right out of college, and actually what I did is I went a year to school. I got out of high school a year early, went to school a year, and because my mom made me. And then I moved out of the house and I got a job, and that's what I earned a year, $8,000. That's when I decided to go back to school. $8,000 for the year. So I understand if you don't have a brain cell to think that this could possibly happen monthly. Where does that happen? It only happens to people that do something unusual and different. Or they go spend about $300,000 on student loans or getting a degree, and then they have the student loans, then they go practice. And they've got to pay all that back. So this is unusual. So you definitely want to talk to those who are standing up and ask them how they did it. And they'll tell you that they just started. They just started. Would all my presidential diamonds join me on stage? Please join me on stage. We're going to have to stand over here. Okay, we've heard from both of you, but I would really like a heartfelt, because of it works. How is your life different today? Emotionally, financially? What has this done for you?
I've just talked about this so many times, but my heart's beating so fast, and I always get so nervous because I'm not a mom yet, so I don't get to stand up here and say I get so many kids, blah, blah, but, Sarah reminded me the other day, I was like, well, I don't live in Florida, I don't. She said, Katie, you haven't worked in 5 years. I have so much freedom with this business, and I am so much more positive and optimistic and confident, and I probably had a lot of friends before, like I talked about the family reunions. I get so excited to come, and you guys, I told you that I have a degree in event planning, but that's my passion, and I get to do that here. Nobody hires me to do it. I get to plan our events for us, and everything I do is for us, and I obviously don't make a penny off of that, but I enjoy it because that is my passion. So this kind of thing brings me life. And, like that Jeep we talked about at dinner, it was like the Jeep Grand Cherokee was all I could think about. And I was at the gas station one day, and I was like, it was raining, and it was a few weeks ago, and I was like, wow, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, all my friends are working, I'm driving around my dream car, I just got my nails done, I went to my nutritionist, I got to go to Target, it was like the dream day, there were no kids, and we get to save for our future, and you guys, I have a dream board, and I have a quote from Pam on my dream board that says, your dream board is not your fantasy, it is your future. And I want you guys to know that because I joined this business for freedom. I joined this business for a car. And now, there is not one single time where I don't walk up to my car and I'm like, oh, she's so pretty. I'm still so thankful. And because I get to travel to Florida all the time and see these guys, it's just the freedom there's nothing like it, you guys. And I don't know, I just get so nervous every time because I'm like, well, I'm not a mom. But I have all of these other things that most people my age and my other friends don't have and don't get to do. And when I think about my dream house and where we're going to live, Sarah and I talk about the most, if my friends that weren't in it works would hear what we talk about our futures, they would think that we were crazy, but that's okay. Literally, if you don't have a dream, we need to go home and make one because it is fun to say, okay, what's next on there? What's next? And for us, what's next is ambassador, and it's something that I have prayed about since I was a Ruby. Where are all the Rubies again? You guys, I remember laying in bed as a Ruby, and I was so sick of, I was tired all the time as a Ruby, but I knew that this would get me out. And I prayed in bed as a Ruby for ambassador, and to think that now that is the next step for me, it is crazy. And so it's just so life-changing. It's amazing.
You know, I want to ask you, how many of you in support of Katie, besides me, wish that you had had this opportunity before you ever had your first child? Please stand up. Yeah. So here, and you guess what? There's millions out there that don't have children that would love to have this opportunity and be able to stay at home, future home with their babies. So thank you for standing up. Let's give it up for Katie.
Okay, well, I'm a crier, so just handle me. All right, so I told you guys that I had 3 kids before the age of 25. I was a young mom. I was in college when I found out I was pregnant, and I had to drop out of school to be able to parent him. My husband and I literally toiled away at a job. We never had a shot, really, because where I live, if you don't have a college degree, you're going to work a minimum wage job. That's it. How many of you have that reality? That's your life. Okay, this is your way out. This is your vehicle to leave that behind and to dream bigger and do all the things you want to do. So when I found out I was pregnant at the age of 20, and I'm trying to figure out, should I place this baby up for adoption because I can't keep a houseplant alive? How am I going to be a mom, right? My whole life was mapped out before me until the moment I found out I was pregnant. So I went on to have 3 more kids, and I got into the business when my daughter was just turning 2. She was my 3rd, and I had this amazing realization that God put me on this path for a reason, and I'm not going to squander, and I'm not going to just take it lightly. I'm here for a reason. So the day I joined the business, I was offered 3 jobs that I needed. Y'all, we needed the money, okay? I turned every job down to do this, and I promised my husband, if he let me work the business, as hard as I could, that I would prove him wrong, because, husbands, you want to see the proof in the pudding, right? You want to see the money. So I told him, if you let me work this really hard, then I will show you that I can do amazing at this. My first check was $236. My 10th check was $14,536. Okay? Yes. And I've never seen that amount next to my name. You guys, I worked at a doctor's office for $9.50 an hour. There was somebody that told me all I was worth because I didn't have a college degree, even though I knew I was smart enough to do all the jobs that I could. I was only worth $9.50 an hour. And that is not worth missing out on every single moment. So fast forward, in the business, I was diagnosed with secondary infertility, and I'm gonna try not to cry. But because of this business, we were able to pay for those treatments. I went through 3 miscarriages, and the month that I went Presidential Diamond was my 3rd miscarriage. So when you feel like life is really hard and you're just starting and you have every excuse to quit, don't you dare walk away from this. Don't do it, because God's got a plan for you, and you're on this path for a reason. So my 4th baby is the first baby that I've ever gotten to stay home with since day 1. And that's a blessing. Last year, 2018 was like a banner year. Do you ever want one of those years where just things go wrong and everything falls apart for you and every facet of your life? That's what happened to my health, and I delivered a baby that was in the NICU, and you guys, I didn't have to ask anybody off for work. I didn't have to say, can I take off work extra weeks because my baby's really sick? No. I worked my business in the hospital bed. When he was life flighted to a bigger hospital, I sat in the rocking chair next to him while he was healing enough for me to bring him home. And that's where I worked my business. November of 2018 was my biggest enrollment month of the year, because I knew I had been there for a reason, and no matter what was going to happen, that I was there for a reason. You guys are all here in this room for a reason, so don't take this lightly. Run with it. You've got, the world is yours. That dream board is yours. Everything that you've ever wanted is yours. What do you say all the time? You can do it. It's your dream is your reality, right? And this is what the business has done for all of us that have been successful.
Beautiful. Thank you.